Good afternoon. Today is the third Sunday in Advent. It's all about joyful hope as we patiently wait and prepare for the coming of Christ into our hearts and into our homes this Christmas. It's also known as Gaudete Sunday. Gaudete is the Latin word for rejoice. It's why Father Stephen gets to wear this beautiful pink, hot pink vestment. And doesn't he look really sharp? Well, well, I'm only kidding. They're not really hot pink. They are rose-colored. And we only wear these beautiful vestments twice a year, once during Advent and once during Lent. Rose has a deep and rich symbolism. Rose signifies rejoicing and joyful hope, and it's intended to give us a break from the solemn preparation for Christmas that we've experienced over the past couple of weeks. In a certain sense, rose anticipates and foreshadows Christ's coming birth. The vestment that Father Stephen wears signifies what is to come, the celebration of the miracle of the birth of a child, God who became human in the tiny little town of Bethlehem. Rose is the symbol of God's love for you and for me. It reminds us He is hope in our struggles. He is light through the darkness. He is peace and unity amid conflict in our world. For many of us, including myself, the Advent season is a time for office holiday parties, spending time with family and friends, and going out to the mall shopping. And these are all good things to do. However, the joy and the happiness can become fleeting as we battle those long lines at the mall or seek to fulfill the multitudes of conflicting obligations. I don't know about you, but sometimes it can leave me feeling exhausted and feeling a bit overwhelmed. And it becomes easy to forget the reason for the season. Amid all this busyness, the color rose, the vestments we wear are intended to wake us up, to encourage us to wait for Christ patiently in joyful expectation. Be patient for the coming of the Lord, St. James tells us in our reading today, like a farmer waiting for the rain. To be patient during Advent doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing, but to work like the farmer who cultivates the ground. He plants the seeds in preparation for the rains that will produce the crops. Likewise, we cultivate the soil of our souls through prayer, scripture, and charitable giving. Like a plant, our souls grow slowly over time in preparation for Christ, who comes into our lives in many different ways. We wait patiently to celebrate His birth 2,000 years ago in just 2 weeks. We wait for His second coming at the end of time. We also wait for Christ to enter into our hearts in the now and here. But this is difficult. In a world where so much is immediately available at any time, it takes patience and thoughtful consideration to recognize Christ breaking into our lives. You know, it was even difficult for John the Baptist, who sent his disciples to question Jesus if he was the Christ, the one who was to come. And if you noticed, Jesus didn't answer with a simple yes. Instead, he echoes our reading from Isaiah. Tell John what you see and hear. The blind see, the lame walk, the deaf hear, the dead are raised. These rose vestments we wear today are intended to heighten our senses, sharpen our eyesight, and hone our hearing to God breaking into our lives and into the world in unexpected ways. Perhaps he comes to us as a stranger in the subway, at school with our classmates, in a Zoom call at work, or in a stable in Bethlehem. Now, I'm sure many of you have been watching the World Cup soccer, and if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I think, all that excitement when the U.S. defeated Iran, and when it ended, there was great celebration for the Americans, and of course, sadness for the Iranians. But the next day, I saw what many considered to be the most powerful image of the World Cup. Maybe some of you saw it too. An Iranian player weeping on the shoulders of an American player who had come over to offer him some words of kindness and sympathy. And I was deeply struck by that image. And I thought of Christ's words from the gospel today. What do you see and hear? God comes in unexpected ways. Maybe we just need to see and hear through a rose-colored prism to recognize that Christ is present in the world. And maybe, even maybe, on the soccer field during the World Cup. And he wants to come into our hearts. And so this week I invite each of us to ponder and to discern God's presence in your life. This Christmas, Santa may come into your living room bringing presents, but Christ will come and bring us even more, the gift of himself. For this we rejoice. God bless you.